390 Enduro R, and what I'll talk about in a minute, the Adventure R. So this is a lineup of bikes I'm running on my A2 fleet. At the minute, for people to ride back to back, I've put some extra dates up, so if anybody wants to jump on a day down here and ride these bikes back to back to see which works best for them, CF Moto, KLE 500, 390 Enduro, Himalayan, DRZ, CRF, Vogue, Rayu 307. And the 390 Enduro R was the one I bought, mainly because it was cheaper. When this came out, when the 390s come out, the new ones, it was £5,700. These are UK prices. And the Adventure was £6,700, but £1,000 difference. So I thought, well, for the fleet, I'll get the Enduro R. It'll give it a good impression of the new engine, the new chassis, the new wheel setup, new configuration of 21 and 18. And I think for me, with the Enduro R, I was hoping it was going to be like a CRF, but with more attitude, with more engine, and so overcome some of those issues that people have with the CRFs and the Vogue and things like that. A good hybrid bike. But as it turns out, in the battle of the singles, my back-to-back testing of all the single-cylinder bikes, this didn't fare too well. And for the reason being that I think, because of the way it looks, because of the title, the Enduro R, and because of the expectation of having a more trail-focused bike, it just didn't excel in the way it should on the trails. Like, it just got out of shape quite quickly. I don't think it doesn't feel like it's got the suspension travel or plushness of the other bikes, such as a CRF. So actually, when you use it in a trail environment, it's not as good as a CRF. Yes, it might be faster on the road, but I bought an Enduro, I bought a trail version because I wanted it to be good on the trails, and I just didn't think it was good enough. And I was quite disappointed in how it performed on that test. That's not to say it's not going to perform for you guys, anybody who's bought one who is enjoying it. I think as a back road bike where you don't need the big tank, the screen and everything else that comes with the Adventure, the Enduro R could be a great bike, and it is still cheaper. I think it's interesting to note that in a lot of the online testing now, where KTM are giving press bikes out to journalists, I saw a Mad TV one and a Knox clothing review of the Enduro R. They've both been given it with the upgraded WP Explorer suspension, which is about £2,000. And you can see in the videos the way the bike deals with chop and jumps and landings and things is, I guess, the way we hoped it would come from the crate. But ultimately, it seems to get the level of plushness to suit the bike's style and setup. You need to spend £2,000. So. Which is to me is an admittance that this isn't good enough as it is, and needs £2,000 spending on it. So rather than to spend £2,000 on it, I swapped it, and I'm selling this. If anybody wants this for £4,500, it's got 900 miles on it, one careful owner, and it's up for sale. It needs a bit of a clean up, but £4,500, I think that's a fairly good price for a near enough new bike. Never been crashed, never been raced, rallied, and it's got the upgraded map on it, which makes a huge amount of difference. But in realising that actually the Enduro isn't the bike people necessarily want, and I think in comparison to the CF Moto, the KLE and the Himalayan 450, it was obvious that the Adventure version is the one that most people I think are going to be interested in, for the fact that it's got the bigger tank, I think 13-14 litres, it's got the bigger screen. This one's got cruise control and quick shifter on it. I bought it second hand, it came up on eBay. I put in a bid on it just as I was about to take off on my return trip from America a few weeks ago, and when I landed I'd been successful. I thought, oh, bloody hell, that was a bit of jet lag motorcycle purchasing, so now I'm going to sell the Enduro. But the Adventure, I think, is going to be the one that sits squarely in these four bikes, and it's these four bikes I think a lot of people are going to talk about and try and pick which is the best for them. I've ridden this briefly, I picked it up and I've got it insured, taxed, and I took it out briefly. And I also rode Luke Brackenbury's test bike when he came down to my Chinese bunkhouse weekend. He came on one of these, a test bike, and I rode it there and I thought, yeah, it makes so much more sense than the Enduro, because on the road it feels like you can cover distance, whereas on the Enduro you can't so much. So I think where it differs, CF Moto, that's a great all-rounder. I still think that's kind of the one to beat, and with that smooth twin-cylinder engine, good screen protection, good wind protection. It's got good weight management. It's heavier than this, but it doesn't feel much heavier. The CF Moto from a twin-cylinder point of view is still the one to beat if you want a rugged all-road bike to do trail, travel, road working, road miles. The KLE 500 is new to the fleet. Not many people have took it out yet, and interestingly, not many people wanted to take it out, which I thought was quite interesting. And having ridden that, that's very much a road bike. Yes, it'll do gravel track and you know, those kind of things. And people will say it's because of the ground clearance, but actually it's not the ground clearance. It's everything else that sets it up or lends itself more to a road orientated machine. The engine, the way it handles the suspension, everything about the bike screams road bike with a little bit of gravel to it. So I think there's a big difference between those two bikes. You know, the adventure rider is going to buy that, and the casual travel adventure rider, but mainly road rider, is going to buy this, and also Chinese, Japanese, and I think that splits a lot. The Himalayan 450, you know, it's a real jack of all trades, sort of lumberjack axe of the motorcycle world. It seems to be incredibly popular with people who've bought it. You don't see many coming up for sale. I don't really hear any criticism from owners, which is a great telltale sign that the bike is delivering on what they wanted it to do. In my battle of the singles, I think there's a point where you find it a bit heavy for the more technical trails and anything a bit more out your comfort zone. I think that's when the weight and the way where it sits, i.e. a bit top heavy, sort of goes against it, which I think is where the 390 comes in. You know, this feels like it's got elements of CF Moto, elements of Himalayan 450, but it's got its own DNA in being a KTM, having top end power, having the big screen, having the cruise control and everything else. So I think this has got a different place in the market from, I'm going to say, a keener rider, but it's a keener road, it's still a more road derived bike than, I mean, I think the CF Moto is going to be better than this off-road personally, because I love that CF Moto in the dirt. If this handles like the Enduro in the dirt, I'm still going to favour the CF Moto, but now at least I've got a package that's going to take me on the road. So we'll see how it goes. I've got a first group coming down Friday. It's going to be on fleet for them to ride. We'll see how they find it compared to the other bikes in this class. I think the price cuts to 6.2 was a good decision from KTM, because it's kept it very relevant and very much a talking point amongst people who are looking at this sort of bike. You know, it's cheaper than the Himalayan. It's still a little bit more than the CF Moto, and it's about the same as a base spec KLE 500. So it really is on par with the other bikes. I think it'll come down to personalities. Just, you know, do you like orange? Do you like a twin? Do you like a Japanese bike? Do you like a lumpy, strong engine cylinder that's got lots of reliability and lots of durability built into it? You know, there's four very different bikes here, so it's very easy to put them in a head-to-head and say which is best. But I think it'll be down to you and your personality and what you want to do with the bike that's going to make the biggest difference. But for me, looking at the Enduro R now, that was a niche bike for a niche market, and I think there's still better bikes for that niche market. You know, I just don't think it ticked enough boxes ultimately. With that Explorer suspension, £2,000 spent on it, I think it probably is wonderful, but I ain't going down that avenue. Not when you can buy this, accept its limitations as a trail bike, because I've not bought a trail bike now. I've got an adventure bike, and that suggests something different to a trail bike. That suggests longer tarmac stretches with gravel track, with moderate green lane, and so on and so forth. This removes the pressure on it to perform in a green lane environment. So I think it will probably do better, in fairness. That's it. Cheers. If you want to come down and ride, Dorothy'sSpeedShop.com. Right, cheers.